Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about planning. Planning, basically, we need to do planning before we start any project. I'm going to talk about outlining the principles of planning and to examine planning policies and procedures. What do we mean by the principle of planning? A good planning is like a roadmap. It shows the final destinations and usually the best way to get there, that is to get to your goals. This is said by H. Stalin Judah. A man does not think and plan long ahead, finding trouble right at the footsteps. If he doesn't plan well, then you will find trouble at your footsteps. We're talking about planning. Planning means looking ahead to how you will achieve a goal and think about what steps you will need. A goal and think about what steps you will need to take and which resources you will need to take. Then planning may be explained verbally but should be in written form so everybody will understand. Planning may be explained also thoroughly. It's about doing the right thing at the right time to achieve the goal of an organization's or your company or your dreams. There are five W's that I'm going to explain in this point. Or you have in your planning, you have five W's and one how. HON. The five W's, you have the first one, which is what. That is, what are you going to do? Then the second W is who. Who are you going to who are you going to do this project for? Then the third W is when. That is when it talk about the time. Then the fourth is why. That is the reason why. Then the fifth W is where. Where mean where, the location, and the one H is how. That is how this project is going to undertake, the steps and procedures. Then we're talking about types of plannings, right? You have the long-term planning and the short-term planning. They have single use of plan. Then you have standing plans. Yeah. Then I'm going to talk about three types of or principles of planning. Three types. You have the strategic planning, then you have tactical planning, then you have the operational planning. That is, in any organization, you have the strategic planning, which is the top management in that company, like the CEO, the president, the chairmans, and these people, their aim is to make profits. That is, in any organization or government or commercial aspect, that the strategic planning is the top management. Then the second one too is called a tactical plans, right? This is the middle management, and this middle management talking about the HR, the HRs and some of these managers also. So this manager, they are the middle levels. They are responsible for the running of these administrations activity. Then you're talking about the third, or it's called operational planning. Operational planning, this is the level of management wherein you have the field work people. The field work people, without them, the operation, a company will not function, a commercial activity will not function, because these are the field staffs, the supervisors. They are responsible for the operations of the organizations or the commercial business. I'm going to talk about 4 points in planning documentation. 4 points, key points. The four key points talk about security, talking about the strategy, right? You're talking about the strategy, that is the one, the first point. Then the second point talk about policy, then you have the SOPs, that is thought. SOP means standard operation procedures. They have the rules, which is the fourth one. So I'm going to explain this first step one by one. First of all, you're talking about the strategy. Strategy outlines the main tasks and responsibility of these companies and your responsibility. It explains the strategy at which you are going to do your responsibility. Then how the tax will help the organization meet its aims. Every organization aims is to make profit, or a business entity is to make profit, unless maybe an NGO, which is non-organizational NGO. Then you're talking about it's all about the responsibility plan. Then to talk about the policy. Policy is the basic for building and maintaining this company business. It sets out the writing how a company plan to run their company, like the intellectual properties, how you are going to marketing your company, how the activities. Then the third step, talking about the standard operating procedures, which is called the SOPs. That is third. You're talking about standard operating procedures. Standard operating procedures, this provide a detailed guide to the action for a particular event or operation of the task and responsibility that they delegate to you or to others. Right? It's talking about how these operations should undertake their responsibility. SOPs allow the standard action to be clear and details and clearly communicate, right? It should be clearly explained to you and your team how you are going to perform your tasks. This is what the SOPs is talking about, the standard operation, the day-to-day. It also mentioned that as a SOP always carry out in the same way, it improves efficiency, management, and reduce the risks of mistake. It reduces the risks of mistakes. Then the fourth one, the key fourth one, is called the rules, right? Rules is simply a written statement of how the staff should do their day-to-day activities and what they should not do. Then I'm going to talk about the 7 benefits of planning. 7 benefits of planning. It talk about the first one. It said you need to give a clear direction, that your management or the strategic, they need to give a clear direction. That is your responsibility. That is number 1. Then number 2 say it help everybody. That planning help everyone to work together with the same aim and goal, right? Then step number 3 says benefit number 3 says it's increase efficiency and productivity in your company, because everybody knows his own roles and responsibility. Then the fourth benefit says it reduce risks because of the guideline and responsibility and assignment instruction that they dedicate to everybody. It reduces the risks, so you cannot go outside your responsibility. Then the 5 steps said it's up to control. You know your limits, that this is my job, this is my barrier, this is what I should do, so it's up to control and limits. Then it helps also in motivating staffs, because if you know that this is your duty and responsibility, it helps you to control your activities, right? So whatever things you are doing in your own position, people will be able to see your impact in the organization. Then benefit number 7 says it helps decision making, right? Like management, in terms of they need any amendments, like in sales or any other organization, they have added responsibility. So it helps them to know that they need more staffs, or they need to reduce staffs, because they have a proper planning. So these are the 7 benefits of planning. Then why planning goes wrong? That's why you make a plan and this plan goes wrong. Why organization make plan, then this plan go wrong? What are the reasons? First reason I'll talk about 4 reasons. The first reason talk about poor leaderships. Poor leadership simply means that you have the management leadership, then because of unprofessionalisms of the top management, which is the strategic management, because they are poor in their administratives. So this also leads to failure. Then point number 2, poor communication. Because of the leadership, he failed to explain to his management what they should do, what is their own roles and responsibility, and even making orientation, because every organization or company, before you have a job, your description, they will have to do an orientation. Even in university, they have to go through orientation. Even in a military security aspect, they have to go through into orientation. Without orientations, you find out that they will lack the know-how. Then number 3, lack of buying in and buying in, right? Buying in, it simply means that these people, they don't have understanding about the job. When you don't have understanding about the job, sometimes you lost interest in that job. So people should have passions over certain jobs they are doing. So these are some of the reasons why they fail. Then number 4 say too many goals. Because of people's organization, they have too many goals to acquire. They don't have a specific, measurable and attainable time bound for them to achieve some certain things. They put every workload on one particular individual, so that's at that particular time they cannot able to achieve their goal. So these are some of another reason why a company or an organization will not able to achieve their goals, or their plan go wrongs. Then lack of resources, which is the 5 one. Lack of resources, it simply means that because of lack of resources, you are unable to achieve your plan, right? Like now you plan to do masters, or you plan to go to some certain level, or to build a house. Because of your lack of resources, or you have so many plans, but because of lack of resources, you cannot able to accomplish your plan. Then the last things that I'm going to talk about, I want everybody to remember here. I'm going to mention 5 things again, which I've highlighted. You're talking about strategy, right? Strategy, policy, planning, and procedures and rules, right? What is strategy? The key areas and goal for a staff, that is the strategy. Then the policy. Policy is the statement about the conduct of the staffs. Then planning is the method or work out that you are going to achieve, that the goal, that is the plan. Then you're talking about the procedure. It's a laid down set of steps to be carried out in the key circumstances. Then point number 5, the rules. It means an action which must be taken or which must not be done in certain circumstances. So to conceptualize all this one, planning is more important in any aspect in life, because without planning, it's like you be like a failed trailer. A trailer is going to have an accident. So basically, you have to have a plan in every little thing that you do. Every organization should have a planning officer, so should have their plans, their goals, where you have to follow the strategic plan, then you have to follow the tactical plan, then you have to follow the operational plan. So I'm going to stop my video. In my next video, I will explain more about other things. Thank you all. My name is Asanubia, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.